There you go. Mike, what's
All
up?
right.
Welcome back to the
Uh,
archipelago.
yeah, I mean, pretty good. I've been here for like, about a month actually. So I'm
About a month.
getting you,
And
yeah, getting used to things, getting everything, ready, like just getting used to the life here, basically. Um,
a month in
yeah, so
Jakarta. So wait a minute. How long were you in the States for? 15 years, something like that?
yeah, well, 14 years continually, basically.
Continuously. God damn.
So
It's a long
yeah,
time.
14. That's a long time, yeah.
So yeah, you told me you had some things to say about Jakarta. I look,
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
how's the
So
traffic and pollution treating you so far?
oh, it's like I never left. And
Ah, right. Yeah, yeah,
I've been
yeah.
told, that, there was a time when things are a little better and the infrastructure and stuff like that. And I can kind of see it when I was here last time. Like that's 2019, 2018. But like, yeah, it's like if things go back, I think I don't know, maybe it's who's in charge or whatever. But it seems like, yeah, it's like I never left. It's kind of
That's
funny.
sort of the perfect way. That's the funniest way to describe it. It's like, at least it's not
Yeah,
noticeable.
yeah. So because like I just have a lot of things to say, right? So like,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
wrote
know.
something, right? You wrote something when you went back.
Yeah, yeah. It's called like is that like New York Van
Uh,
Java. So
yeah,
yeah, so
yeah.
kind of, yeah, so I kind of see like, Jakarta is basically like, the New York of Indonesia, right? Or New
Mhm.
York of Java. And you can see the tall buildings and the skyscrapers, and it's very glitzy. All the like there's more malls here than in America actually. So it's like it's this really what you call consumeristic society. I don't know how else to
Yeah.
describe it.
I was just about
Like,
to use that word actually. Consumerism.
oh yeah, yeah, and there's also the bad side of that is like what you call the traffic's bad. Like New York traffic's kind of bad as a it's kind of dirty. I have yet to see like cat-sized mice like I've seen in the New York subway, but I've
Cat
seen a lot of
sized
stray cats.
mice.
The mouse or the rats actually. It's rats actually, really big
Yeah.
in New York. Yeah, but I do see a lot of stray cats here, so it's like it's
There's definitely a lot of stray cats, but they're undernourished. So none of them are big or fat in any way. It's quite the opposite.
yeah. I mean, well, it depends. Actually, I was in like Fluid. Like there's an apartment I went to, and like there's like because it's like I forgot the apartment complex is, but it's basically there's a market, right? So they sell like all these. So they sell there's just restaurants and food stores and stuff like that. And I guess the cats like they feed by eating like table scraps, right? And some
Yeah,
of
yeah,
these
yeah.
cats are fat, man. Like it's like they're like pet cats. It's like these big. It's like really really fat.
They're pretty aggressive too, right?
Oh, oh yeah. I mean, they do like what you call. They really like. They're not afraid of human beings at all. Like,
Yeah,
well, some of them,
absolutely not. Yeah.
well, some of them run away, I guess, if you kick them enough. But there's like some of them is like they just come to you and then just meow, like asking for food. Like it's a completely different world in many ways.
What other cultural jet lags are you experiencing so far within this month?
Um. So here's the thing. There's basically a lot of different, what you call, it surprises me is that like the people are more like they're more there's more use of the internet or the of like mobile phone and apps like
Absolutely.
yeah yeah it's like I don't do I use DoorDash occasionally back in America and
Yeah.
like it's like they have nothing on like what you call like what GoFood or
Go Food, Go Jack, Grab.
GoPay,
Yeah, yeah,
Gojek,
yeah.
all these things. It's like it's kind of funny because you see all this like warung and whatever these like things that seem like okay, they seem primitive, but then the people use
Yeah,
like phones
I know
to pay.
exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, like even like when I go to church, you can pay the offering with like with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what you
That's what
call
I do. That's what I do. Yeah. QR
it's
codes.
like yeah. I mean in America you don't really have that. There's like okay, you click the barcode and then it takes you to a website and then you put in the credit card. Okay. It's that but here it's like no, you barcode and then you pay it right there. It's like well, we're like America's like a generation behind here, and like how they do the online things.
Yeah, I guess part of that is, well, first of all, let me just say it's certainly ironic when I clearly understand what you mean when you go to a lottery place and they seem very primitive or they seem very low in the socioeconomic stratum of society. And then when you see
Mhm.
them just looking at videos all day, like American videos or TikToks all day, I mean, I think the internet penetration in Indonesia, it's something like 90% because Indonesia has a lot of middle income, young middle income demographic. I think we have the largest demographic of young workers and middle income. So it's a huge market for these smartphones. Um, I think in terms of like Twitter or TikTok, Indonesia ranks very, very highly, maybe above the United States also in terms of the usage and the penetration.
Wow,
Absolutely,
that's
there's
crazy.
a lot of tech usage these days that is really democratized even amongst the very lowest of society.
Yeah, because like so this brings me to like how like I guess the internet, I guess something I notices is right, since everyone uses the internet, it's like I think in a way, I don't know how I would think about this, but it's like I think you see people speak English more or they understand it.
Oh yeah,
And you see facilities where like, okay, is this like it's in English or maybe sometimes it's in Chinese or in Korean. Like I think I went to like Gandaria City, one of the mall, like close to where I live. And there's this like one floor of the buildings is like everything's in English or in Chinese, the titles, the building titles, or in Korean, but none of it's in Indonesian. And sometimes I do wonder if there is like a expat like population, like like foreigners living in the area. Sometimes I don't know because you know I went to like I think last week I went to like a mass, like a Catholic mass in English, and that's in like because last time I was here before it's like 2019. I think the only like English language mass can be found in like the cathedral, right? But that's like the center of like the you know archdiocese in Jakarta. But here it's like okay, my local parish that's in like uh Barito in like Block Bay, like 10 minutes where I live, and there's an English mass. And there's apparently also an international parish, like for like again for expatriates, but that's like in central Jakarta in Menteng, I think. So
yeah.
yeah, so there's a lot of like population that speaks English and like
You'd be
so
surprised. You'd be surprised how Americanized Jakarta has been. I mean,
Mhm.
um, we actually live just by hearing what the locations that you're saying. We actually live very close by to each other. And my church is actually in Gandaria City. Um,
Oh, wow.
you're absolutely right. There's a lot of expats there, a lot of Japanese, especially anywhere in the south of Jakarta, Gandaria, Pondok
Mhm.
Indah, Kemang, and things like that. There's a lot of expatriates there. So, yeah, absolutely. And in terms of church, I mean, this is the church that I go to is Gandaria City. It's basically like we're all trying to be white. Basically, we all sing like it's Hillsong for yellow people, basically. I mean, to be we all say,
Yeah,
yeah,
I can see what you mean.
it's all completely Americanized. There's no the stamp that the West has made, especially in the southern part of Jakarta, is
Mhm.
huge. I mean, everyone knows what the Simpson is. Everyone in the yeah, it's sort of kind of lost the roots of Indonesia. I mean, hell, we're speaking English right now.
Yeah,
Hell,
I know.
we're proof of it right now. So, but I guess
Yeah, I mean,
it makes you less. It gives you less of a culture shock. From going from
yeah,
Maryland to where did you say Barito? From Maryland to
yeah,
Barito.
yeah.
Uh,
In Kebayoran right now, that's where I live.
yeah,
Yeah,
Kebayoran Lama, right?
baru.
Oh, right. So from Maryland to Kebayoran Baru, I guess it's not so much of a culture shock because everything's become so Americanized.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, in some way, it kind of helps. Cause I think was like when last week I went to like Menteng. Apparently, the parish there has a confession in English, which is really helpful for like me and my brother who's also moving here, because it's like I don't even begin to know how do I like do confessions in like
In
Indonesian, right?
Indonesian.
Because yeah, because I became Catholic in America, so I've all my like whenever I think about like the liturgy and stuff, I think about in English. Like when they do like this, the what you call the responsatories in Indonesian, I was like, like the short ones I can, I can I kind of learn it slowly, but it's like it's a little it's a learning experience basically. That's how I would put it. It's like eventually I'll get there, but like it's a little odd. So I kind of appreciate like like whoever's in the archdiocese or in like the Catholic community there who's like, yeah, let's have a international parish designed for like the cater to the expatriates, like I do appreciate that actually. It's like it's very understandable. But on the other hand, it's kind of like, you know, it's things are changing, so it feels a little weird, in a sense, I guess.
How's your Indonesian still Sempurna or
Um, yeah, it's still pretty good. Like if we have a conversation, I'm sure we can have it. But it's still kind of, it's like the pronunciation and things like that.
oh
It's yeah.
yeah, you just
Sometimes I
much prefer speaking English.
yeah, sometimes I don't really like emphasize the R's, just things like that.
That rolling R, that's
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of odd.
weirdly
Yeah,
enough, the South Americans do it, right? The rolling R,
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah,
just an
yeah. I
Asian
remember.
thing.
No, because yeah, I mean, yeah, because like the Japanese can say R or something like that.
Yeah, they
Or
definitely cannot.
can't say L, so I ended up doing R or something like that.
Yeah. Anything
Mhm.
else surprising to you?
Mm, like I mean, not much, because so far I've been in like like the south, Jakarta Selatan. So the malls, and also Jakarta Utara, which is in Pluit. So
Yeah.
let's move there first, because like apparently there's a I went to this place called, I don't know if you've been there. It's called Pick, right? Or Pantai
Yeah.
Indah. I forgot the K, but
Pantai
it's
Indah.
basically, yeah. So it's like, well, basically it's what you call water, a reclaimed land from the sea, like the whole place. And then there's a Chinatown, and it's like, and this place is nice. It's almost its own country. It's like it's Chinatown, right? So it's like, you know, and it's like they're selling villas, and what's it's like, to be honest, I don't really go there. When I was young, I'm not really familiar with this place, the
I don't think it
north.
was there
I go,
when we were young, by the way.
no,
I don't think
no,
it was developed yet. It didn't exist.
no, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't developed yet. So, it's like, what I'm saying is that, so I don't have anything to compare it by, I guess, but it's like, I think there is like hope. I don't know, hope, but like, I think there's reason to be like optimistic about like, the country, because it's like, okay, we're building things, right? We're like, okay, look, there's this like reclaimed land. There's like all these hotels, there's like buildings, um, um, I don't know, yeah, things like that. Like when you see in America, it's like a lot of times it's like they don't want to build new things, like they're just, in fact, they're kind of destroying old things, you know. So I think there's what you call. I think there's sort of optimism that you know there's an
They
optimism you see that
Yeah, it's a
you don't.
huge yeah, it's a huge. I know what you're saying. What you're saying, it's a huge difference because the United States is a completely developed country, economically speaking, right? There's not
Mhm.
much more room for extra innovation or consumerism, whereas in Indonesia, there's a whole lot more demand than there is supply in terms of
Yeah.
shopping malls or products, goods and services. So there's a lot of still a developing country.
Hmm.
It's going to take decades until it reach its full peak. Even
Yeah.
did you hear about the capital city is going to be moved to another island,
Uh,
Kalimantan, I
in,
think.
in
Uh,
Kalimantan, yeah, it's called Nusantara.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So there's
Oh.
and then a lot of the public servants, the public government workers are already being migrated there. I just read that in the
Mm,
Jakarta Post. Tens of thousands of people are being migrated to, start
mm.
working, start developing the city. Um, a lot of that is
Yeah.
financed. Surprisingly, all this development, a lot of it is
Hmm.
financed by um, foreign investors, the Chinese and the Saudi Arabians.
Mm.
Um, to be honest, I don't know why exactly. It's a similar thing that's going on in Africa. There a lot of, I mean, Xi Jinping is pouring like hundreds of billions, maybe trillions of dollars to develop Africa, right? To be more,
Hmm.
um, I guess it's because of the population, because there's this um, underexploited population. Like
Hmm.
there's going to be a lot more economic activity. That's why countries like China and Saudi Arabia are spending so much money on undeveloped nations in the hope that they could
Hmm.
have control over them or something. I don't know. It's this is like high
Well,
level
it's
geopolitical.
new colonialism, basically. It's like,
Did we talk
I don't.
about
I mean,
this?
I don't like to use that word like colonialism, because it's just, it's a scary word, at this point. But it's like, well, I don't know how else is to describe it, because like, you see like China is like, oh, I'm gonna give you money to build like your roads, but like, oh, it's like, but it's borrowed money, and if you can't pay it back, well, what's gonna happen? Like you're gonna fall under the control of China, and this makes me think about, since we talk about the new capital, I actually watched like some videos about it because I'm just curious. And like when I look at it, it's like, it's kind of cool, I guess, because when they describe the city, oh, it's gonna be like a different city, it's like, it's not gonna be like Jakarta where everything is like, scrunched up together, and like it's gonna be like environmentally friendly. There's a lot of trees, and I'm like, well, I guess that's kind of cool, I guess. And I kind of understand the argument, but here's the thing though. I think it also makes me think that Indonesia needs a lot of money, since you said, oh, a lot of the things are financed from like, like foreign money, right? And
Yeah.
apparently I read that like there's like a Japanese investor, or I think it was the government, and then they look at it like 2 years ago, last year, and they pulled out because they don't like what they're seeing, or so it because you know because I noticed, like, at least when I'm making my visa, there's this thing called the diaspora visa, which is like, oh, they want like to bring back all the Indonesians who are overseas, who gave up their citizenship, right? Like
Oh,
me.
really? Is that what happened to you?
Yeah. Yeah. So since I have an American passport, yeah. So and
Oh,
so
okay.
basically, yeah. So now I'm allowed to work, and I'm allowed to live here, and I'm allowed to do the stuff
Mm.
that citizens can at the low cost of like $750. You know?
No
So, so,
shit. So you're buying back your privilege as a as a former Indonesian citizen.
yeah, basically, that's what it sounds like. Because I think the government is really looking for money wherever they can find it, and like maybe Nusantara is one of that project. It's like maybe it's because like I think the president, like Jokowi, he's really, from what I read, he's really like pushing this through. And then like it's open, it's like officially open, when like the next president, comes by, which is probable at this point. So so it's gonna be his life's work, basically. That's what we're gonna remember him for. Like, yeah, the guy who creates this new capital. And for this new capital, we're gonna need a lot of money wherever we can find it, where it be like foreign governments or like ex-Indonesians who wants to come back here and work and do business and stuff like that.
So you're on a visa now, but you're not an
Yeah, yeah.
Indonesian citizen. You gave that up, right?
Yeah. So I mean, well, I have a lot of plans, so I don't want to say it yet, but it's like it's a
Yes.
5-year visa. So it's like, so you're basically, once you get it, like you really don't have to worry, because 5 years is a long time. That's like a college, like you go to college for 4 years, it's like, that's a long time. You got it, you're in, and then like you don't really have to worry about it. You can do whatever you want. Well, as long as you don't break the law, I guess.
Hmm. How's the food? That's I'm probably most
Oh,
interested in this one.
oh, pretty good. Pretty good.
I know, right? I know, right? It's
Yeah.
it's
It,
South. I think I wrote about this about like Asian food versus white people food. It's
uh-huh.
the level of spice and
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like, I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe it's just me, but I do prefer like Indonesian food, surprisingly. I mean, other than like burgers and steak is really good. So you can give the white people that, but it's like, I have to go with the team Asians here, you know.
You
Oh
can
yeah, and
pretty
speaking
much
of
get, and yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, and speaking of food, you do have to be careful about where you eat. It's like I don't think like if you've been in America for a long time, I don't
Oh
think you're
yeah, yeah.
ready for like Indonesian spice. I mean, I thought I was ready because America has like they have spicy food right from Mexico and or like they have Korean like pepper too, but it's like the Indonesian spice, it's not so much that your tongue can't handle it, is that your stomach's gonna hate you and then you're gonna have diarrhea basically and you're gonna have like they call it Montezuma's revenge. Basically when you travel and then you eat like dirty stuff and then you ended up like the whole day your stomach you have stomach cramps and you have you have diarrhea. Yeah, I went through that for like last week, 2 weeks ago. So yeah,
Yeah,
just be careful.
Indonesian chilies, especially those small green ones, they are
Hmm.
not they are not like jalapenos at all. Jalapenos are nothing. Jalapenos are not even spicy, but it's amazing how. By the way, I'm Indonesian. I can't eat spicy food. I just cannot.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm allergic to it. I just started itching everywhere, man. Even like
yeah.
smelling that, even like thinking about it. I'm not even joking. Even thinking about it can make my scalp itchy for some reason. There's a physiological
Mm.
rebellion against it. Uh, but yeah, it's amazing
Yeah, yeah.
how some Indonesians can just consume just ungodly amounts of spiciness and just act normal or
I know, right? I think I don't know, maybe it's like it depends on what kind of Indonesian you are, but it's like my ethnic group, like the Batak, they have a lot of spicy food, and I can't eat that. That's like, nope. It's like so. I don't know. Maybe it's environment. Maybe it's your upbringing. I don't know, but it's like not all Indonesians, I guess.
isn't uh the food of your people similar to Padang food?
Um,
Is it? Is
I
it?
think it's well. I mean, there's some similarities, but not quite. I think there's more pork. You know,
Oh, right, right, right.
and- yeah, definitely more pork because like we're not Muslims, and um, we also eat. Well, I don't, but like we also eat dog meat. Well, not me personally, but it's like that's the thing, Like, but I think there's definitely some similarities because we're both from Sumatra. So, but I have to look into that.
Right, right. How's the weather though? It's
Well,
like incredibly, it's annoyingly hot. It's always been this way, but yeah, I think it's not exactly the heat, it's more like the humidity and the pollution that's
um,
bothering. What do you think?
oh yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
Maryland.
well, definitely not. But yeah, I mean, like I've seen like the temperature in my phone is like sometimes it's like 39, 38 Celsius, and then it's like feels like 40 degrees. And I'm like,
Oh
well,
yeah.
for like, yeah. I mean in Fahrenheit, that's like 100 degrees,
Yeah.
man. Like
Yeah,
it's like
it's 100.
it's like how it's like this is like Las Vegas desert heat, like but except it's humid. It's like this is
It's even
unbelievable.
worse because it's humid, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely more sweaty and well, there's one thing I have to mention. The mosquitoes.
Oh God.
It's
Oh God. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
it's like I don't it's like oh yeah, it's like never feels feels like want to commit mosquito genocide or something.
Genocide,
And
right? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like there's one in my, it's like in the what you call the living room of my house.
Yeah.
There's like one time there's like lots of mosquitoes. It's like they're just flying around, and then so I just grabbed the electric racket, and it just kept swinging. And I think I get like 10 of them, maybe more, and there's still
No,
a
you're
lot of
yeah,
them.
yeah. No, you're not gonna do anything with that. You're an amateur. Wait, so in America they don't have bug. I guess Americans don't use bug sprays as much as Jacardans do, right?
Oh. Yeah, I think we have like I'm not a big fan of bug spray because like, hey, if it can kill mosquito, it's probably gonna be able to kill you if there's enough of him. So, maybe that's just me.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I think all Jacardans they it's like a daily habit. Like in the evenings or in the sore. Even yeah, in
uh,
evenings they
yeah,
just
that's
spray the
evening.
whole
Yeah.
house. They just spray the whole
Oh,
house. It's a daily habit since
oh,
for Jacardans because there's so much mosquitoes.
hmm.
Yeah, it's a genocide of mosquitoes every day. That
Yeah,
stupid racket is not going to help you. Trust.
we just need to kill the ones that suck blood, because most mosquitoes, not most, but a lot of mosquitoes actually like eat plants or something like that. So just kill the ones that suck blood, or at least suck human blood, and then we'll be good. Uh, that's like something to tell the government and get rid of the mosquitoes.
I guess there's a lot of still water also in because the country is very tropical and there's a lot of floods in certain places. That's where
Yeah.
they breed. Uh, it's when I was in Australia. That's actually right. You're making a really good point. When I was living in Australia for 7 years, I never had a problem with mosquitoes. Like, never,
So not
even
even in the
sitting.
summer, right?
Yeah, not even in the summer there were flies. I can accept flies, but mosquitoes are like especially menacing, especially annoying.
Yeah. Um, um, I think speaking of still water, like I think you might have noticed this, but it's like when I landed from the airport and then I got out, there's this rotten stench. It's like open sewer or something like that. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah,
man, okay, now I'm back. I know I'm back because there's this like rotten stench, like something just died. Like
yeah. It's probably
when
a
I stepped out.
mouse. It's probably like a mice carcass. There's a lot of it.
Yeah. Oh,
But I heard
okay. I didn't know that.
I heard New York's getting pretty awful, right? New York and
Yeah,
San
that's
Francisco, like
yeah. That's what I heard. Like San Francisco has like people literally like taking a dump on the street. So it's like I know it's that's an interesting place. And New York, like I haven't been in New York in like years, probably since I left college, but that's a long time. But whenever I see like New York, I heard about New York like getting worse or whatever. It's like I feel kind of sad because man, I used to be there. I used to go to that place, and I don't know. It is what it is, though.
yeah, we're kind of shitting on Jakarta a lot, but I heard New York is especially like the druggies, the homelessness, now the immigrants, the just like the immigrants, the level of crime has really increased. Like
Hmm.
I was talking to my father, and he said he used to like going to New York and LA, and now he just doesn't even want to. He's not interested.
Oh
He
yeah.
doesn't want to put himself through like a danger like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My uncle once talked about he when he visited my brother in Chicago, and they were watching a Bulls game. So that's like the arenas in like around downtown. And then like he
Yeah.
said. hey, I saw this like black guy selling crack to a white guy. I was like, yeah, that's like American cities now. And it's like, or I remember going to like Brooklyn to watch a Jay-Z concert and I smelled weed. It's like, so yeah, I mean, it's like, as much as, yeah, you're right, as much as we like to say how bad, the bad things about Jakarta, it's like, well, America has problems too. And, I think that's something that we really need to keep in mind. Because because I see a lot of like, I remember talking to a lot of people who's like, why would you want to be in Indonesia? Or like, they think like I'm a little crazy that I'm getting out of America. It's like, it's not as good as you think it is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully, you're able to adapt real quick. Yeah, we definitely gotta meet each other. So you actually live very, very close. I'm also in South
Okay.
Jakarta. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Sounds
didn't
good.
resubscribe to Zoom, so I can only record for 40 minutes. Um,
Okay.
yeah, we gotta end this really soon now. Yeah,
All right.
hopefully you
Sounds good.
get to adapt very quickly. I mean, you were born in Indonesia, right?
No, no.
Oh
But I grew
no.
up in. Now I went to grade school here though. Tarakanita Dua, like wherever that is.
All right, wherever that is. I don't even know. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Thanks for the conversation.
All right. See ya.
Cheers, Mike. See ya.